then we went upstairs and like we went into that like that guest bedroom where her, like that person's sibling or cousins or whoever bedroom that was for like had no furniture in it other than like a bed and like a nightstand. That's the room that had the closet where you got locked in.
Yeah, it was upstairs. It was his brother's room.
Okay, and then that was also the room where it said my middle name. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Hummingbird Arcana Podcast. I'm Jo Hummingbird. I'm an Evolutionary Astrologer, Usui Reiki Master, and a Tarot and Oracle Specialist. I'm here to awaken you to your Cosmic Divinity. Today, I have a very special episode for you because I have one of my beloved best friends on the podcast today. Her name is Vellvet Vale. You can find her on Instagram. You can find her on TikTok. You can find her on Tumblr. She is one of my dearest soul sisters. We have moved through absolutely everything and anything through this life together, through pretty much half of our lifespan. And she and I got on the pod today to share our experiences with the paranormal world. And as you saw on the clickbaity title of this episode, I actually had a ghost say my middle name out loud. And that was a very wild experience. We dive deep into that experience towards the end of this episode, but we spend the rest of this episode towards the beginning and towards the middle talking about our experiences early on, what got us started in the paranormal world, things that we were exposed to, our perspectives on it, things that we not only shared together but did individually as well, that we have learned and grown from. So if you are interested in hearing all about our paranormal encounters, then stay tuned to this episode of Hummingbird Arcana. If you're not sure where to start when it comes to booking a session, I feel you 100%. With all the different wisdom that we integrate on our spiritual paths, it can really get overwhelming to look at all of your options for tools to help you integrate it. So if you feel intuitively called to book a session, but you don't know which one will be the best fit for you for what you're looking for, I'm now making free discovery calls available for you. And in this complimentary 30-minute call, we will briefly discuss what areas of your focus are on your path with zero pressure for you to immediately book a session after. You are in the driver's seat the whole time, all the way through. Bookings for free discovery calls are open now, and the link is in the description box or the show notes below if you want to get one for yourself. Now let's get back into this episode of Hummingbird Arcana. Today, I am so beyond excited because I have the very first guest on the Hummingbird Arcana podcast, and this is my best friend of almost 12 years now. We have done everything under the sun together, you name it. We have fucking done it, whether it's breath work, ghost hunting in the woods, crying together in each other's arms, screaming in the car to music that we need to cope with our trauma for. It doesn't fucking matter. We have done it all. But I am so excited to have her today, so please welcome to the Hummingbird Arcana podcast, Vellvet Vale.
Yay!
Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for giving me the honor and privilege to even be on this with you. Like this, we've seen our journey extend and just go beyond like understanding, and so just having a privilege to be able to do this with you is ground standing.
Absolutely. I am so happy to have you here. Like, this is something that we've been trying to do for literal years at this point.
I mean, it's so many times we've tried and it hasn't worked or anything. Like, something always happens, a setback always happens. So
yes.
Nice
but just
to see this in light.
No, yeah, absolutely. And just a little backstory for people. We have been best friends for almost 12 years, like I mentioned in the little rough intro, but with like a little more context for that, we were lonely little gamers on our phones.
We were.
And somehow the universe brought us together by the grace of the goddess herself. And we have had like so many magical, sacred moments together, but also so many messy human moments together. And I think that there's just so much pure joy and wisdom and just humanity for us to share from our experience together of over a decade at this point. Like, we went from being literal children to being full-grown adults and living our lives both individually and together in certain ways. So with that being said, since this is going to be all about our paranormal stories, because I feel like that is something from a spiritual standpoint that we have done so much of, both individually and together. As far as the paranormal goes, like the ghosts of it all, like everything that world entails, what was like your first experience with that?
That is such a good question. I mean, I grew up very sensitive. From a very young age, I was able to see and feel and experience situations that I couldn't even process or understand at that age. My grandmother is a huge part of my journey into spiritualism, occultism, ghost hunting. I've also not only in situations been close to death, but have been are surrounded enough by death to have a good relationship with it and to have a space where, you know, it gives you opportunity to really experience it.
Yeah.
So I can't really say that there's one individual situation that I've ever come across that was like the first time, you know. I was obsessed with graveyards growing up. I loved cemeteries for some reason. I was also a little weirdo. I don't saying like is a perspective word. I don't like death in that form or fashion, but I honor it and I understand it. And so, you know, dead animals I always was curious about, or
your tattoo.
Yeah, I mean bones,
Yeah.
Wet specimens, stuff like that, vulture culture kind of thing. So I mean, with the physical of the occult in this aspect, always comes the ethereal or the paranormal or the esoteric part of it.
Right.
And so with that being said, I've had such a close relationship to it. I think the first time I could ever really picture something ever happening to me was when I was very young, and my childhood house, there was a old woman who had passed away waiting for her husband before we had ever moved in. It was probably like the 50s that this had happened. He might have been a war. I don't really know the full history of it, but I do know that she, as a child, I would imagine a older woman in the window next to my front door. Mm-hmm. I would see it as a child. I would see it at a very young age, and so I would freak out. I didn't understand, you know, the concept, but at the same time, there was a peace in knowing, almost a sadness as well.
Yeah.
And so I remember seeing her and no one really believing me at first except my grandmother. Mm-hmm. So she very much pushed and taught me my who I am now to this day.
I can attest to that. That woman is, wow, a force to be fucking reckoned with, to say the absolute very least of her. But no one should ever say the least of that woman. She is a ball of fucking fire, just moving and living and breathing and destroying everything in her path, but in the best way possible. So I'm very...
Love you, Bugga.
No, we love you, Bugga. We love you. I'm not going to reveal your real name, but we love you, Bugga. As far as like, obviously her having influence on you, how would you say that then carried over into the rest of your paranormal experiences growing up? Because you did talk about seeing that older woman. You talked about like, Bugga, like, you know, honoring your experiences and always being sensitive and being more open to that realm of things than other people per se around you maybe. But what did that then lead into for you as a result of like the first exposures that you had to that? Was that something that developed more of like your psychic gifts? Was that something that you developed more fear around? Like what directions did you go?
I mean, it's been a journey from as long as I can remember. I mean, there's been waves of, like you said, the fear, but also there's more challenges in learning it and growing that talent and that strength, for sure. It followed me throughout my entire life, to be completely honest with you, as well as my experiences as well with death, like I explained. I feel like, I mean, for the longest time, one of my childhood dreams was to be a professional ghost hunter. And if you knew me when I was like 10 or 11, you knew that was like, I knew I was going to become a ghost hunter at some point, because I was obsessed with the occult and I was obsessed with learning about these things and how it played a part in religion, how it played a part in spirituality. I mean, it is entangled in the very being that I am. So, for sure, she definitely influenced a lot of learning and continuing to be curious, being curious about the other known and the unseen. And to this day, she's like the one person that I can go to for any questions about it as well. Like if I'm curious, if I'm like scared or afraid of it. You know, she's always there. I will say that there was a lot of fear at first growing up. There was a lot of fear. It was a visceral feeling within my body. It never, I think it came from a place of like, no, feeling that it was malice and like getting confused with what people had expectation on it, and if it was bad, if it was evil. Like I said, I grew up very religious. So that definitely played a part in it. But I think the longer and older that I got, the more I focused on those talents, or I don't know, really say talent, but special abilities. They blossomed into something more. It is a hand in hand in everything that I do.
Right. So how that then formed your experience in the world, would you say that made you more vigilant, or would you say that made you more informed?
It for sure made me vigilant at first. It made me very paranoid, especially if in terms of like mental health and illness and stuff like that. As well as, like I said, having that experience with death, it made me paranoid. It made me anxious. It made me fear stepping into that darkness. But when you have control over it, or not really control over it, but when you have control over yourself and how you perceive and understand it, I feel like it feels incredible to actually step in the unknown completely, just nosedive into it. And that made me gain more knowledge and understanding of it on the other side than to be fearful of it.
Right. I can relate to what you're saying with that, because like I was definitely vigilant at first with it too, because growing up for me personally, like my first experience and growing up kind of go hand in hand, obviously, because it was like I was a child too, but for me it was I wasn't allowed to sleep because the things I was seeing were taunting me.
Exactly.
Or torturing me somewhat in whatever context, fill in the blank. But it was also like a struggle of like the mental health thing. Like even though I was like 2 years old and my parents were telling me that I was just having nightmares and I needed to just go back to sleep, but it wasn't like a real thing.
You knew it wasn't just that, you know, even at that age, you know.
And then like you said, like you grow up and you explore the unknown, you dive into it like head first, and you have to learn how to just kind of like navigate with it, or just kind of run. Yeah, exactly. You can do either one, and sometimes you have to choose one over the other. And when you're a kid and you're scared and you don't know and you don't have anybody to educate you, but for me personally, I didn't have somebody holding my hand or telling me like, hey, this is what it is, don't be scared. I had people talking down to me and telling me what I wasn't experiencing and what I should be experiencing instead. And I kind of had to do that heavy lifting on my own in that way. But I definitely relate to what you're saying of like the vigilance at first, because it made me super scared that I was doing something wrong, even though it wasn't something I was doing. It was being inflicted upon me somehow, at least seemingly. Obviously, you do the work and you dive in and you study stuff. You watch the ghost hunting TV shows on fucking
Watch Ghost
TLC.
Hunters with Zach Baggins. And,
oh my god, yeah, literally. And I particularly remember like the what's her name? Oh, Teresa Caputo, the Long Island medium. Like when we were 12, I remember specifically like being on like FaceTime or Skype or whatever at the time, and putting that show on in the background and like learning how to connect with these dead people instead of running from them. Exactly. And I also feel like respectively at around that like age time for us is when we started diving even deeper into this.
For sure.
And like started exploring it together, so it wasn't as scary, but it was also like it made it more fun. I
mean, a huge catalyst into me going into it further as a teenager into an adult was you. I had a partner that understood that, because I do resonate 100% with people talking down to you about it. I was always considered the weird kid, you know, the one that was like too dark or too thoughtful or talked about these weird, you know, esoteric things that aren't looked at in a societal prospect or like positive light, you know. And so I 100% resonate, and I feel like the only way that you can be brave is to be scared at first.
Right.
you can't be brave without that. And so I think leaning into it took away the danger of it.
Mm-hmm.
You realized, oh, I'm safe in this space. I talk to my higher selves and to my, to my spirit guides and to everything else, and realize that no matter what, I am protected divinely.
Mm-hmm.
And so it gives, like I said, it's not the fact that you want to control the situation, but you have control over yourself and knowing that nothing bad is going to happen to you.
Right. It's like an energetic sovereignty type
Mm-hmm.
thing. And I feel
Absolutely.
like we had to learn that kind of the hard way, or like not even the hard way, but like the long way.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember one of the first times we did it, we ended up having to get the Holy Bible because we were so embedded into our religions that we were like, I have to read
Mm-hmm.
my prayers and my
Right.
scriptures because I feel like we unlocked something dangerous or like
religious trauma
demonically,
speaking. Yes, absolutely.
And then, throughout experience, the things that we have done, the adventures that we've gone through, and the relationship that we built with it has grown tremendously into comfort in it being a part of you.
Right, absolutely. And as far as like, we talked about like growing up sensitive and like our first-ish kind of experiences, but like what was the most memorable experience you think? Like, I know we could both think of one that we both did together at somebody's house, but we'll talk about that later. But other than that, can you think of one that like really stands out that you're like, oh my God, that, even if it didn't like shake you to your boots, it like was intense even?
Mm-hmm. Usually it was with people. It was never really alone because I could sit with it when I was alone for some reason. I felt comfortable in it.
Right.
And so when something did happen to me as a child and I was by myself, it was just me. Mm-hmm. I couldn't tell anyone besides my grandma, but she would just perpetuate it and make it out to be something more sinister or bigger than it was. Mm-hmm. I would definitely say my two cousins, me and them have been through intense situations in the houses that we lived in. Their house being right behind a cemetery where their back door gate could enter the cemetery.
Wow.
And so as kids we would climb up those little stairs on the thing and then unlock the gate and then just wander the cemetery. Their uncle was buried there. And so they would go visit him a lot. And so I do have another family member that's buried there as well. But I would say, we had so many creepy instances growing up. I would also say someone that I no longer talk to anymore. The first time I ever went to his house, I would say that was probably one of the most memorable because it was also the most frightening. We were playing video games in his parents' room because their room directly led into like the hallway into the main house because it was kind of like a side house. And we were playing Mario Kart. We were playing Mario Kart and doing like just buffoonery as like 14, 15-year-olds. But I remember there was a curtain that separated the hallway into the main house. And while he was doing something, I remember I walked through there and I immediately felt the suffocating presence of something. Mm. And when I say suffocating, it was like walking into a void of nothing. Mm. When I crossed through there to open the door, the house was L-shaped. So the entire time I'm going straight, I'm facing certain rooms. So walking in, I'm immediately facing the kitchen. And from the kitchen, there's a door on the opposite side that leads into the second living room. Mm-hmm. And while walking through there, the sliding door was peaked halfway open. And when I tell you I saw something that I can't quite picture, like I can't quite understand what I was looking at because it was like a voided silhouette body.
Ooh, I got chills.
And it had no eyes. It had a void hole for eyes. Like it did not have any actual ocular, things. It was two holes, and it was crouched down with its head tilted, and it was just staring at me. And I do believe that whatever that was, we named it at the time. We tried to make it our friend because I explained it to him. it definitely followed us throughout, you know, our friendship and our childhood and into high school, because it was in that house. And I really do believe it was the embodiment of other energies and other things that were going on at the time, that it festered and fed off of. I would say that one is one of the most memorable. But yeah, that was probably the most influential one that I had, for sure, as a young age, as a young child, and like going through a lot of things. And like I said, when mental health does absolutely play a part in this, because when you're sitting at a low vibration energetically, those things tend to like to follow and grasp onto you, because the more you vibrate at a higher frequency, you are more protected spiritually and just like by the universe. Like you're protected by these things. They no longer feel like they can feed off of it. So yeah, it was a lot back then.
Yeah, I can fucking imagine. Oh my gosh, I have so many like polarizingly different paranormal experiences, where it's like some were so like benign and docile, and then some were like so weird and scary that like I can't imagine even like writing a fake story to make it up. Like I don't even know what to talk about, if I'm being real. So like I guess I'm just gonna think about the time that I went to Goatman's Bridge. Not with you.
For preference, for people who don't know, Goatman's Bridge is a famous bridge that is in Texas that is very, very well known in, you know, at least in this space and area.
And in the paranormal world.
And in the paranormal world. Like it's scary. Like I remember a lot of things happening there as well. But continue.
I, as a Caucasian male, will not be speaking on the history of that, because I don't want to be spreading misinformation, and then that just be something that I do out of integrity. So do your own research, find your own narrative, find the facts from people who need to be delivering them. But I went there one time. We'll just call her Amy for the sake of keeping the letter continuity for ease of memory, but like I don't want to reveal her real name. I was there with Amy, and she's not super into this kind of a thing. Like she's somewhat like a spiritual-ish person, but she's too practical and real to like pay attention to that stuff. Like her words, not mine. She's like, I don't really believe in that stuff. I just follow like the morals of spirituality. Like she was more like along the lines of like moral Buddhism than she was of like actual spiritualism of any kind.
I do get that. Skepticism is healthy.
Totally. I absolutely think it was valid, and for everything that she's been through, she has absolutely every right to feel that way. But she was just kind of tagging along for sake of like hanging out with me, and I wanted to go into this space because prior to when she and I went was when you and I went with that group, and they were acting very ignorant while we were trying to do shit. So I went back to kind of like pay respect and be like, hey, I'm sorry. But when I went back, there's like a chill that just went down my left arm for this. Do you know, like, the fork in the road at the entrance when the right way leads to the bridge and the left way leads down the paths?
Yes.
So we took the left way because I was fucking stupid, in my opinion, in that moment. And do you know that circle on the left side, on the left-hand path, when you've gone down, like, maybe, I don't know, quarter mile?
Yeah.
That circle, we were there. I shone my flashlight. Great job. I shone my flashlight. Yeah, no, literally editing cut. I shone my flash. I shone my flare. I had shown my flashlight over to the circle where that was, and I kid you not, I see like a man in a white robe.
Oh, no.
With the eyes cut out.
Absolutely fucking no.
When I turn to grab Amy and I start running, I turn back around to make sure this person that I think is real is not following us. They're gone.
No way.
And when I tell you I have never yelled so loud in my life, to be like, run. Like, I grabbed her and we darted to the car. We got in, I locked that shit, I started it, and I skirted out of there. So that was weird because I have never seen anything. Like, I've seen apparitions, I've seen things before. Obviously, as a child, I saw shit, night terrors, whatever. But, like, I have never seen something waking like that for something as sinister as that.
Absolutely.
Because we know what that white robe is. We're not even going to say what it is because we know what that means.
And considering the land that it's on and the story that goes into it, you know, it's
Exactly.
disturbing. It's fucking terrifying.
2 + 2 is 4.
And
Yes, exactly.
One of the last times I ever went up there, I was still pretty, like, in my youth, but there we had gone, you know how you get onto the bridge and you can keep going, and then there's a path that just leads through the forest and you just keep going, like it's an endless. We've done it before.
Yeah.
It was one night in particular where I was with not that group of friends, but some of them were still there. So I was already like, I'm not comfortable being on this land with them. But I was dragged out there. So while I was going, they continued to go. I didn't really want to continue going out further into that space because of, you know, I've had not horrible instances there, but enough to like startle me. And the permeating smell of death followed me the entire way. I genuinely was convincing myself that there was some type of dead animal or body out there. And I had a friend, you know, basically hold my hand the whole time because I'm not about to stumble on a fucking dead body right now.
No.
And yeah, there was nothing. And we didn't really interact. We just had a sense that we were being watched the entire time, which is often what happens on that bridge.
Yes. Very much.
Yeah. And I think it's a beautiful area. I think it's beautiful land. I want to honor it as much as possible and you know, the story that it comes with. But there are also people that have made that area unsafe.
Yes.
And I don't think it's fair to the spirit that's out there as well.
No, not at all. And every time that I've gone back since, which hasn't been any time recently, like years ago was the last time I went, but the very last time that I did go, if it wasn't with you, then I don't remember who it was with, but I went and there was somebody having a powwow to like heal what had happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my fucking God.
I also don't I don't think that this is gonna sound interesting, but like people who try to heal that land who don't have the right to, it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
You don't have the option or the right to try to release and relinquish this demon / spirit / whatever people perceive it as.
Leave the spirit to rest.
Leave the spirit to rest, especially with the history that it has. Like, you don't need to be doing this when you don't understand what was happening or the severity of the situation. I think it's disrespectful.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Astrology can help us determine the complexities of human relationships in so many different ways, but one of the best ways is through synastry charts. These charts can help us to directly understand what is unfolding between two people in this lifetime and in lifetimes behind us or beyond us. Whether or not they're involved with each other romantically, platonically, ancestrally, professionally, or even otherwise, synastry is still going to be one of the easiest ways to discover the dynamics of different soul connections. And if you want to see what cosmic connection you have with a certain someone in your life or on your mind or in your heart, then head to the link in the description box or in the show notes below to book your synastry chart reading with me today. Now, back to Hummingbird Arcana. So, with that being said, since those seem to be pretty memorable that were like individual, do you want to talk about what happened at our acquaintance's house?
Yeah. This funny punny, like, this whole episode is full of ghosts in the closet, for sure. These are stories of people we no longer talk about, which is really funny.
No pun intended, because when this happened, somebody got locked in a closet. Yeah. Like, dead ass. So how funny.
Play on sentence. So
literally, three ways to play on it. That's so funny. Anyways, do you want me to start with my perspective of it?
Yeah, okay. Go ahead, because I'm curious. I'm so curious. We haven't talked about this in so long.
We literally haven't. It's been 5 years.
I don't think we really talked about it.
It's been 5 years since it happened.
We might have debriefed, but we were like...
No. Yeah, that was quite literally demonic. Yeah. I've never, with full-fledged confidence in my being, said that I've encountered a demonic presence like that, because before that moment, I honestly, full transparency, didn't believe in demons. Not in the sense that demonic things don't exist, or demonic ways of being don't exist, or honoring or venerating the idea of demonic things doesn't exist, because malicious shit is out there.
It's such a nuanced thing, because it's like I don't fall into the belief of like Christian demons or Christian hell, or anything like that. But you can't knock or disprove that there is evil in the world. There is, this, I feel like the demons, quote unquote, is like the manifestation of the bad that's happening in our world now, and the things that have been coming out, especially. So not to bring the satanic panic in here, because I don't want people to think that we're against any of that. So love our Satanists in this chat, but
love them down. So I guess, like, because the way that this was like introduced to me was like, you told me about this thing, and then we asked this friend about it, like, in person more. Like, I felt like we kind of cornered him a little bit. And we were just like, hey, what's this going on? Like, the two witches were like, what the fuck is happening? Yeah. Your girl's talking about this. You went to me, like, you came to us, and then your girl's talking about it, and now we're both talking about it. This has to be dealt with. What's happening? So
nosy asses,
literally. But hey, for the right reason. And I remember like having that conversation, and then like a week or so later, we ended up going over there when this person's parents were out of town. And before we went in, he explained to us, like, again, some of the things that were happening, so we would be like prepped for the moment. But when I walked in, the energy felt lifeless. It didn't feel like it was a void. It didn't feel like there was something there. It felt like all life had been sucked dry. Yeah. Like almost sterilized.
Absolutely. Oh fuck yeah. And funny enough, his parents were considered doctors. So
okay. Well, that would make sense. A lot of sense. Okay. Well, that's a fun detail that I'm just learning. That makes sense for how big the house was. All the money. Yep. But I remember just like, okay, well, this doesn't feel like there's anything here. It feels like there's honestly nothing. What are y'all worrying about? Right. And like playing it down a little bit, not outwardly, but just like internally, just being like, this is nothing, not a big deal. And eventually we were just like, I think we had like cast a circle. We had called in the elements. We had cleansed the space as much as we can. We did have a spirit box. And I remember once we got it out, that's when shit changed.
That's really when shit changed.
It was like, we came in like respectful, whatever. It wasn't going to fuck with us.
The energy really did shift when it went from not only a place of respect, but we weren't really antagonizing it. We weren't like, we came in and it kind of accepted us for what it was. It wasn't until we were like, hey, like,
what are you doing?
What are you doing? Who are you?
Right.
That we started pulling, these stuff out, out. And
we provoked it.
Yeah, we provoked it. And then it was like, oh, okay, you want to play games?
You want to fuck around
and find out,
Right. Right. No, totally. So I remember, like, after we got out of the spirit box, that's when we started seeing shit around the house. Because before that, we were like walking around with the sound bowl, with bells, with incense, with crystals. We did everything, and still nothing was happening.
Mind you, we were spending, I would say I think you were planning to spend the night. I wasn't 100% sure. I think we were planning on it.
I was willing to if it took it.
We were willing to, and so this was in the span of hours. This was like when daylight was still out up until 1, 2, 3 in the morning. I think 3 in the morning was when we were like, okay, we're done.
Yeah. But somewhere around that.
This was a long time that we were doing this.
Very long time. It wasn't just like 30 minutes, okay, nothing's happening, boo-hoo, get over it. It was like you mentioned, like we were there from sun up until sundown, or like not sun up, but like when the sun was in the sky until it set. And I remember when we got the spirit box out and we started seeing shit, we followed whatever we saw upstairs, because what I saw with the way that house was so weirdly fucking laid out because of how old it was, and how it got re-renovated. They took out something that used to be another room and made it into multiple rooms plus a bathroom that led to the garage or something like that. And in that little hallway from that new addendum bedroom to the new bathroom to the garage, those doors were all wide open. All of them.
all of them were wide open.
You're unlocking certain memories because I blocked it, so
yeah,
I forgot about that.
I remember like it's still like the back of my hand, like it's yesterday. I remember vividly everything that happened because it was so like it was so bland up until those moments that it was so polarizingly different that it couldn't do anything but stand out to me like a sore thumb. So we saw like shadow things like running and darting up and down the hall, peering through doors. In that bedroom that was the addendum was this person's parents' room. And that's where most of the shit was happening. Yeah. And so we took the spirit box in there and nothing was happening, surprisingly. So then we like saw it going through the hallway and shit, and we saw it go into that other little archway that leads on the other side, on the opposite of where the bedroom is, where the garage is. That archway, it goes up to the staircase in the front. So it's like you could go around in circles around the staircase, through this hallway, through the living room, through the entryway, but you're still not going up the stairs.
It was a circle house.
Right,
it
but
wasn't,
it wasn't like circular shaped, but it was internally circular.
Yeah.
So then the stairs are like in the center of the house, and from that little addendum bedroom, bathroom, hallway, garage situation, this thing darts up the stairs, and we hear some shit.
Yeah, we instantly started hearing it. It was also not just us.
No.
It was the other two people in this that saw it, and we were like,
what the fuck?
Shock.
Yes. Yeah. Because it wasn't just like, okay, this one person telling his girlfriend, and then her telling us, and then him in passing telling us. It was all four of us
were staring at it
at once, and we all visually like saw the same thing. It wasn't just like one person said this is what it looked like, and we all said yes.
Equally, kind of just Scooby-Doo looked at each other like,
did y'all just fucking see that?
Like, yeah, in complete total shock.
Like,
literally.
So then we went upstairs and like we went into that guest bedroom where like that person's sibling or cousins or whoever bedroom that was for like had no furniture in it other than like a bed and like a nightstand, which different conversation. But that's the room that had the closet where you got locked in.
Yeah, it was upstairs. It was his brother's room.
Okay, and then that was also the room where it said my middle name out loud through the spirit box. So like it saying my middle name out loud was pretty fucking scary because you're the only person in that group who knew my middle name.
Yeah. So I think this was when we had gone upstairs and to try to figure out what was happening.
Yeah.
And we were kind of hitting a wall at that point, like nothing was happening, and so that's when we pulled the spirit box out. We sat on his bed. Mind you, giving you preference to the story, his brother's girlfriend at the time, she had actually previously gotten locked in that closet as well, and so she refused to go in that room for the longest time, and so that's why we were like, wonder what's in his room. And that's when we went to sit down, and I pulled out the spirit box. I remember pulling it out, and it would kind of cycle through channels.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say we were joking or fucking around, but we definitely weren't taking it super, super seriously until that moment that I don't remember what preferenced it, but it said your middle name, and it was, do you remember?
I do. You said it, and it unlocked the memory like a fucking flashback, because I was sitting on that bed,
and in front of me. We were sitting next to each other,
in front of you, and then like the other two were over like in the corner or like moving around the room with flashlights, just looking around, and it said my middle name out loud first, and I freaked out. You knew what was up. The other two were like, what? And then
we weren't explaining it to them because we were in shock.
Yeah, and before we could even explain it to them, it said, I want you.
Yes.
After that.
Yes.
Chills. So like that's what really got me, and I was like, oh, fuck no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And so then from that point forward, I got super like...
Yeah, that was the turning point of the night when we got uncomfortable.
Very.
That was, I think, the choice where we were like, you're not staying the night anymore. I was to the point because, like I said, I am the only one that knew your middle name. And I had never had that happen. The way my heart dropped to my fucking ass.
No, literally.
I could not believe what I was seeing. That had never happened, in my experience. And so I think I turned the spirit box off and I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
We're done with that.
Absolutely. It was single-handedly, like I mentioned before when we were talking about the memorable experience, if I didn't have that to talk about, like this to talk about later in this episode, then I would have mentioned that as my most memorable thing, because that was like the only time where I felt like the slightest hint of fear as an adult in this
danger.
work,
Yeah, exactly.
as like, is this something that wants to fucking hurt
it's
me?
no longer like when we're kids and when talking about ghost stories and getting the heebie-jeebies out of each other. No, this was like, I'm an adult and I've never experienced this feeling before.
Yeah.
And I now don't know what to do.
I've never had something directly address me in front of an
and
audience.
And at that point, they didn't even really know your name at all.
No.
So, like, there was no preconceived, like, setting up for anything weird, You
were the only one. And, like, I was the one with the spirit box.
Mm-hmm.
Not you.
It was yours. It was your spirit box.
So how could you have fucking... Why would I be like, oh, yeah, tell me my middle name? Like...
Yeah, we were... Yeah. And so...
We played it off early. We're like, okay, this is nothing. This is clearly not anything to worry about. And then we pulled out the spirit box, like, I don't know. I don't remember if it was, like, a last resort or it was because we then saw something. But, like, no, it was because we saw something in the hallway, like I mentioned earlier, right? In the vent room, and then, like, the hallway, the addendum, the garage thing, and then it went upstairs, we pulled it out, yeah. But, like, it wasn't like, we're purposely going to use this tool all night, and I'm going to have it say this thing at this time. Like, it was a whole... raw fucking experience that I was not prepared for emotionally or psychologically. I was like, oh, okay, I might be in danger.
And I don't quite remember why exactly I had gotten into the closet. I think we were trying to exit the room, and I think our lovely dearest friend that we no longer talk to was making comments about it, and so I was like, okay, whatever. My Leo rising ass was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go in the closet. My ego was like, whatever happens, what happens, let's see. And I was in the closet. Nothing happened in the closet, mind you. I was like, I got a little bit of a chill, but there was nothing particularly, like, off about it. Mm-hmm. And so I had sat there for a while kind of contemplating, like, what the fuck am I doing?
Right.
Nothing's gonna happen. Like I said, healthy skepticism. I try to be as skeptical as possible.
Right.
And when I reached to grab the handles, here's the thing with this door. It was was it two handles?
There were two handles, one on each side, but the thing is, it didn't have locks.
It didn't have a lock on it, and also the doorknob wasn't the turning type of doorknob. It just slid open and closed. Mm-hmm. And so when I went to grab the handle and I pushed out, it did not open.
Mm-hmm. And we on the other side, all three of us, could not open it.
And I remember for a second, like, I did it a couple of times, and I remember my friend at the time, the one that was there, the girlfriend, she was like, okay, fuck off, like, nothing's happening. And
yeah, but it wasn't fake.
You were the one that was like,
she's not
faking this. And I pushed again, and I pushed again.
And it wouldn't
open. And so I started to jiggle, and I was like, okay, hey, guys, like...
Guys.
Yeah, I'm not joking, because they thought I was, making it up. Mm-hmm. And you were the one that grabbed the handle and started to pull, and I was pushing, and it just would not relinquish.
Yeah, because if it had said my middle name, which these two people don't fucking know, and then it locks you in a room or a closet that doesn't have a fucking lock on the door... Mm-hmm. How are we making that up?
It felt like the resistance of someone holding a door open, holding a door closed on one side while you're pulling on the other side. That's what that felt like.
And we were trying to pull it open. Mm-hmm. We were trying, because it only opened out. It didn't open into the closet. It opened outward into the room. So we had to pull it open. So there's no possible fucking way that we could push against that to have it go against
you. And we did this dance for like
5 seconds of like panic, and then it was like
shaking
violently.
No, I was about to say we were like, okay, what the fuck, and then at that point I was like, I need to just I started yelling. I was like, get the fuck out, get me out of here. I started hitting the door, like I was panicking. Yeah. And that was when it pulled. I remember you pulled, I pushed, and it finally let go, and I fell into you.
It was like a
because
cartoon.
I was like, what just happened? And I booked it. I went downstairs. I did not want to come back upstairs. No. We promptly left, like maybe a little bit left after we debriefed, for sure with my friends. And yeah, we did not stay very long after that. And this is also not the first time that things like this happened in this house. I was a friend of his for a long time. And so I would spend the night with him and his girlfriend, who was my best friend at the time, well, a lot. And there were nights where I was chased up the stairs. There were nights where we would smell rotting meat in the in the kitchen, like randomly. And that was actually a story that his parents could confirm that they also smelled that too. It was sulfury or like rotten meat. I do know that his parents have history in occultism. Not in the sense of them doing it, but they have history in it for sure. I'm not going to air out anyone's business or drama, but yeah. And so it made sense why there was something following that family. And it was terrifying. There was a while where I couldn't go over there because of how terrifying it was.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And like after that point, I think we called it quits for the night, and we just went outside by the fire pit and we stayed out from that house as much as we could.
They kept trying to get us to come inside, and
we were like, no,
no, I'm good.
No,
my soul is too sensitive for stuff like this. I knew that was malicious, you know.
And it didn't help that next door was that creepy ass neighbor with all of those statues.
Oh my gosh!
That looked like the fucking Medusa type stuff.
She had that whole neighborhood has like history.
Oh, I'm sure
because it was owned. This is gonna sound hella woo woo and like conspiracy theory like. So just.
But this is the history of this place. It's not like it's not a theory. It's the literal history of this place. So like, chill, y'all.
The women in this it was a cul-de-sac. It was a gated community cul-de-sac. Yeah. It was a very old history. It was like
Victorian era old.
What's the word? Old money. You can tell they had old money.
Right.
And so the house next door to that house, her husband had just passed that year that they moved in. And the whole backyard was decked out in gorgons and like
angels and Greek gods
statues. Like they were like actual sized pillared marbled statues.
Real.
And then why I bring up the fact that her husband passed away is it was really odd that every house on that block, their husbands had passed away. Mm-hmm. So it, in my mind, felt like old, like a coven or some weird shit happening where they were killing their husbands. Like, it was insane to me. It was insane. And the lady that lived with the gorgons and the statues, she would stand for hours staring out of her window at the house. I remember that was the first house? Yes, because the window that had face is kind of similar to how mine is. Like there's a window facing and then just a wall. But their house had just the wall and there was a window. For her house. God. And so the first time we ever moved in, like I helped them move into that house. While I was carrying things into the backyard, me and my friend had noticed she was just standing there staring at us. And it was really uncomfortable. Like she was just staring, and hours went by and she was still there until finally I was leaving and she was gone. And so to this day, like that area is fucking terrifying. I don't fuck around with that. Also, It's across the street from, it's in my hometown. This is why I know a lot about this stuff. But the cul-de-sac is across the street from a park. It has a river connected through it. And there has been so many bad things that have happened in that area, from murder to SA to kidnapping, human trafficking, stuff like that, trigger warning. But like a lot of things have happened out there. And so I can't imagine the connection of that area, what really is going down out there.
I can't imagine that either. But either way, it's still fucking so intense over there that I don't know that I would ever go back. No. And I don't know that, like, this is something I'll ever make full sense of.
Yeah.
Because I've tried to sit there and unpack that, like, whole experience before, and it's been almost 5 years to the date since that shit happened, and I still can't fucking make sense of that. So...
And nothing has come close to that either. And I've done paranormal exploration after that for the past 5 years. I've done so much, and it's never held a flame to that situation.
No, not at all.
So given that we've talked about everything of our paranormal experiences under the sun, whether it's like the beginning of it all or like the absolute worst, the thick of it, what would be something that you would tell somebody who is experiencing paranormal things but doesn't know exactly how to go about
Oh my
handling it?
gosh.
Like, what's something that you like, not even like deep long advice of like everything that you've been through and what you would do different maybe for that person, but just something simple that you would tell them to help them keep their energetic sovereignty about the experience?
That is such a good question. Oh my gosh. So, I mean, considering, you know, my history with it, I would tell them lean into it,
Mm-hmm.
have fun with it. Obviously, be respectful.
Mm-hmm.
Know what you're doing, know what you're getting yourself into. Research, absolutely research. That is number one for any of this. Be respectful of people and their stories, their history, and also go into it with, I would say, go into it with as much confidence as you can and knowing that you're divinely protected.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of times I've gone through situations where I've questioned, you know, my integrity on this what I was doing, and I think it's just good to know where you're standing and what you're doing in all of this, but also have fun with it. Have like experiences that you can't exactly understand, you know, or put into words. If you have the inkling of being pulled into it, go for it. Go for it, absolutely, because it is a journey that you meet so many people in this industry and experience, and you learn so much from it. You cultivate enough, like in my experience, I've cultivated so much empathy for the spirits, you know, the otherworldly, and just be careful. Have fun.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Fuck it, we ball.
No, fuck it, we ball.
Fuck it, we ball.
And also pay respect.
Yeah, but pay
Period.
respect, like 100%. Please don't be an ignorant piece of shit in going into it.
Something like, this is so bad, like the Boy Scouts to say that, but something called leave no trace.
Yeah.
It's also considered a Native American proverb that the Boy Scouts appropriated for their set, but like, you know, of course, always, but it's leaving some place as more peaceful and as beneficial to the environment of it than you found it. It's like if you can show up somewhere and create more equilibrium than you left it or than you found it with, then you have done the work. You've fulfilled the purpose, even if what you did was, you know, asking to extract a little bit of resource or space or time or energy from that environment. As long as you are treating it well and respecting it, then it will give that to you. That's what the earth is for, and that's why we're here. But whenever you misuse that, that's when it treats you poorly. So,
well, you dish energy out, it gives it back to you. So,
period.
Karma. I mean, and yeah, I would 100% say just respect it. You do no harm, but take no shit for sure. Leave spaces how you left it, and take it seriously. I mean, these are real things that occur every day, and there's a lot of benefactors that go into it, and also, you know, death and, you know, fucked up shit that happens in there. So just be as respectful as you humanly can. Be a human first and foremost before anything else. Have empathy. And
treat them like you're talking to a human. Yeah. Treat spirit
because they
like are. At some point they probably were, and they likely will be again, or, you know, they just know how to talk to humans, or they have some business with humans they need to be dealing with. So be respectful, because likely they're going to be respectful of you if you do the same.
Also, another thing, know what you believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Believe in what you believe in. Practice what you preach, for sure, because you can't go into this with not only disrespect, obviously, but like, you can't go into it not trusting what you and your belief systems, whether you're Christian, whether you're spiritual, whether you're an atheist, whether you're Buddhist, believe in anything that you believe in, and I promise you it will keep you safe.
Right. Absolutely. Well, with that being said, I think that's a beautiful place to wrap up the conversation. So thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this episode. If you enjoyed, let us know. Give the video a thumbs up.
Yes,
subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you're notified every time a new episode or a new piece of content hits your field. And
Vellvet, where can everybody find you? Because I'm sure people want to connect with you with all your juicy magicness.
I hope you guys do. Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for having me on. This has been an absolute fucking privilege. We've been wanting to do for so long.
Yes.
Bringing me into your space and seeing all of this like behind the scenes is fucking incredible. And also I got to be part of the outro, which is kind of fucking awesome.
Yes.
I have a lot of things coming and planned special for the internet, and y'all hopefully will be seeing me more often, for the good and the bad. Everything that comes along with it. So that will be that will come out soon for sure. You could probably find me on Instagram. You can find me on Tumblr. You'll probably be able to find me on TikTok soon, shortly, maybe even YouTube. We will see what happens in the future.
All right, that concludes it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Again, if you enjoyed, then go ahead and give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notification bell. And if you're not watching and you're listening instead on a stream platform, hey, hi, hello, how are ya? I would humbly implore you to leave a review, rate the podcast, and in the comment section of that review, let me know what your favorite episode has been, if you enjoyed this one, or any ideas you want for future episodes, or if there are any guests you would like me to have on the show in the future. But thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to listen to this episode of Hummingbird Arcana. If you want to check out my information or Vellvet Vale's, it will all be down below in the description box as well as in the show notes for you. So thank you again for listening to this episode of Hummingbird Arcana. It is my pleasure and honor to assist you in awakening you to your cosmic divinity. I am Jo Hummingbird. I will see you in the next episode, and many blessings and take care, my friends.